Good morning, my friends. It's a beautiful day to talk about something that is crucial to success but often overlooked: working hard in silence. You see, in this world of instant gratification, likes and social media validation, everyone's in a rush to shout their progress from the rooftops. But real success, it's built brick by brick, quietly, without the need for applause. Let's break it down together with 6 key principles. Success is a concept we all chase, but what we often forget is that its roots run deep below the surface, unseen and unheralded. It's easy to look at someone who has made it and think they were an overnight success, but the truth is that almost every achievement is preceded by years of hard work, sacrifice, and silent struggle. This principle is much like the growth of a seed. Before a plant breaks through the soil and reaches for the sun, it spends a significant amount of time growing and developing below ground where no one can see. That's where the real magic happens. The foundation for growth is built in the dark. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't expect to see results right away. You water it, provide it with the right nutrients, and trust the process, knowing that growth takes time. You don't dig up the seed every day to see if it's sprouting yet, because you understand that doing so would damage the delicate process taking place beneath the surface. The seed is doing its work in silence, and with patience and care, it will eventually burst forth into the world. This is how success works. The greatest achievements are often born out of periods of quiet, consistent effort, where no one but you knows the struggle and the work being put in. In our world today, people are often eager to announce their plans, their goals, and every minor accomplishment along the way. Social media has made it easy to share the highs and the milestones of our journeys, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But sometimes in our haste to share, we lose sight of the importance of working in silence. Success isn't about broadcasting your every move. It's about building something solid and enduring, something that can withstand challenges and stand tall when the time is right. Let's think again about that seed. When it's growing underground, it's developing the root system that will sustain it throughout its life. Without strong roots, the plant will wither the moment it faces adversity, whether it's a storm, drought, or other challenges. In the same way, your silent work is building your foundation. It's giving you the skills, the resilience, and the character you'll need to handle the inevitable setbacks and challenges that come with any meaningful pursuit. If you rush through this process or seek recognition too early, you may find yourself unprepared when things get tough. One of the most powerful aspects of working in silence is that it allows you to focus solely on the task at hand. When you're not concerned with impressing others or seeking validation, you can give your full attention to the work that matters. You're not distracted by the need to perform for an audience or the pressure to show immediate results. This is a space where real growth happens slowly, steadily, and with purpose. And when you finally do emerge, people will notice the results, not because you told them, but because they can see the fruits of your labor. Working in silence also teaches humility. It reminds us that success isn't about recognition, it's about achieving something meaningful. Many people spend their time chasing the approval of others, believing that the applause is what defines success. But true success is internal. It's about setting a goal, committing to it, and doing everything in your power to reach it, even when no one else knows or cares. It's about having the discipline to keep going when the journey gets hard, when progress feels slow, and when it would be easier to quit. Silence gives you the space to develop this inner drive, this quiet determination that pushes you forward even when there are no cheers or accolades. And let's not forget that success, like the seed's growth, is a gradual process. There's no such thing as instant achievement. Just as a seed doesn't transform into a tree overnight, neither does anyone become an expert or a success story in a matter of days. It takes time, patience, and a lot of unseen effort. Every small step, every quiet hour of work adds up over time. You may not see the results immediately, but with consistent effort, they will come. This period of quiet growth is also a time of preparation. Just as the seed prepares itself to push through the soil and face the world, you are preparing yourself for the moment when your work will be revealed. The more you invest in this preparation phase, the stronger you will be when you do face the world. And when that time comes, you won't need to shout about your success. The results will speak for themselves. Too often we become discouraged when we don't see immediate results. But if you think about success as a seed growing underground, you'll realize that just because you can't see progress doesn't mean it isn't happening. The roots are spreading, the foundation is being built, and every day of hard work is bringing you one step closer to your goal. Patience is key. You have to trust the process, keep nurturing your efforts, and allow time to work its magic. In the end, working in silence isn't about hiding your talents or downplaying your potential. It's about understanding that the journey to success is a personal one, and it often requires a period of quiet dedication before the results become visible to the outside world. When your success finally breaks through the surface, it will be strong, resilient, and ready to face any challenges that come its way. And just like a towering tree that began as a tiny seed, your accomplishments will stand tall for all to see, not because you shouted about them, but because you put in the work to make them grow. In a world where validation often seems to come from the outside, from likes, comments, and public acknowledgement, it's easy to get caught up in seeking approval from others. But true success and fulfillment don't come from applause. They come from focusing on the actions that move you forward, regardless of who's watching or how much praise you receive. This shift in mindset can be transformative, allowing you to focus on what really matters, the work itself and the journey of improvement. When you focus on your actions, not applause, you tap into a deeper source of motivation, purpose, and strength. There's a fundamental flaw in seeking external validation for your efforts. If your motivation is tied to the recognition you receive, you'll constantly be at the mercy of other people's opinions. This dependency weakens your sense of self-worth and can distort your goals. Instead of working towards what's truly meaningful to you, you may find yourself chasing approval, changing course to align with what you think will impress others. This is not a recipe for genuine success. It's a distraction that pulls you away from the real work, the hard work that needs to be done to achieve lasting results. Focusing on your actions requires you to detach from the need for immediate recognition. This is difficult in an age where everything seems geared towards instant feedback. However, the most significant and rewarding achievements often happen over a long period with no visible results for much of the journey. The process of learning a new skill, building a business, or developing as a person is a marathon, not a sprint. In the early stages, when the progress is slow or invisible, applause is unlikely to come your way. And that's precisely why you must focus on the work itself. Your efforts, not the praise of others, are what will lead you to success. There's also something liberating about focusing on your actions rather than applause. When you're not concerned with how others perceive your progress, you become free to explore, experiment, and grow. This allows you to take risks without fear of failure being judged. You can try new things, make mistakes, and learn from them, all without worrying about how those missteps might affect your public image. This freedom fosters creativity and innovation. It's in these moments of silent effort, away from the spotlight, that the most significant breakthroughs happen. On the flip side, when you work solely for applause, you end up tailoring your actions to fit what others expect or want to see. This often means playing it safe, sticking to what's already been done, or staying within the confines of what will earn you immediate approval. But true growth, both personal and professional, requires you to push beyond those boundaries, to venture into unknown territory where the outcome isn't guaranteed and where applause might never come. That's where the real progress happens, in the messy, uncertain parts of the journey where you're working not for recognition but for the sake of becoming better. Another downside to focusing on external validation is that it's fleeting. The satisfaction of applause or recognition fades quickly, leaving you with the need for more approval to sustain your motivation. It's like chasing a mirage. No matter how much applause you receive, it's never enough to fill the gap that only true fulfillment from within can close. When your motivation comes from a deep commitment to your goals and values, you become far more resilient. Your sense of purpose and satisfaction doesn't fluctuate based on the opinions of others. It remains steady because it's rooted in something much more solid: your dedication to your craft and the progress you're making. When you focus on your actions, you also become more disciplined. Discipline is the key to success in any endeavor, and it's something that can only be built through consistent effort. Discipline means showing up every day, doing the work even when you don't feel like it, and continuing to push forward despite setbacks and challenges. When you're not working for applause, it's easier to cultivate this discipline because your motivation is intrinsic. You're driven by your own goals and desires, not by the need for external validation. Over time, this discipline builds momentum, and momentum creates success. There's a sense of quiet confidence that comes from focusing on your actions rather than applause. It's the confidence of knowing that you're doing the right thing, that you're making progress even if no one else sees it. You don't need to broadcast your efforts or seek validation from others because you trust in the process and in yourself. This kind of confidence is far more powerful than the shallow, fragile confidence that comes from external validation. It's a deep, unshakable belief in your own abilities, one that can carry you through the toughest challenges and the longest periods of silence. Moreover, focusing on your actions leads to more meaningful and authentic success. When your actions are aligned with your values and goals, the success you achieve is truly yours. It's not something that was crafted or modified to please others. It's the result of your own hard work, persistence, and commitment. This kind of success is deeply satisfying because it reflects who you are and what you've worked for, not just what others wanted to see. It's the kind of success that lasts because it's built on a solid foundation of authenticity and effort, not on the fleeting whims of public opinion. It's also important to recognize that applause, when it comes, is often delayed. Many of the greatest achievements in history were not recognized or appreciated in their time. The artists, scientists, and innovators who made groundbreaking contributions often worked in obscurity without praise or acknowledgement, but they kept going because they were focused on their work, not on the recognition they might or might not receive. They understood that true success comes from within, from the fulfillment of knowing that you've done your best and that your actions have made a difference, whether or not anyone else notices. In the end, focusing on your actions, not applause, is about maintaining a sense of integrity and purpose. It's about staying true to your goals, even when the road is long and the results are slow to appear. It's about trusting the process and believing in your own abilities, even when no one else is paying attention. And when you do finally achieve success, it will be all the more rewarding because you'll know that it came from your own efforts, not from the need for approval or applause. You'll have built something real, something lasting, and something that truly reflects who you are. Motivation is often seen as the spark that gets us moving toward our goals. It's the excitement we feel when we set a new goal, the energy that surges when we start a new project or commit to a lifestyle change. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind, unpredictable and unreliable, often leaving us stranded when we need it most. This is where discipline becomes crucial. Discipline is what keeps us moving forward when motivation fades, when the excitement is worn off, and when the road ahead looks long and difficult. If motivation gets you started, discipline is what keeps you going, and ultimately it is what will carry you to success. When you first begin a new venture, whether it's starting a business, learning a skill, or embarking on a fitness journey, motivation feels like a superpower. It's exhilarating to imagine all the possibilities, to envision success, and to picture yourself achieving your goals. In these early stages, you're energized, optimistic, and ready to take on the world. But motivation is an emotional state, and like all emotions, it fluctuates. The first time you encounter an obstacle or a setback, that initial excitement starts to wane. This is the moment when most people quit, not because they aren't capable, but because they were relying solely on motivation to carry them through. Discipline, on the other hand, is steady. It doesn't depend on how you feel at any given moment. It's a habit, a routine that you commit to regardless of whether or not you feel motivated. Discipline is showing up to do the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's getting out of bed early when you'd rather hit snooze, going to the gym when you'd rather relax, or staying focused on a task when distractions are tempting. Discipline is driven by a long-term vision, not by the short-term highs and lows of motivation. And it's in this consistent day-to-day effort that real progress is made. One of the key differences between motivation and discipline is that motivation is often tied to external circumstances. It's easy to feel motivated when things are going well, when you're seeing progress, or when you're surrounded by positive energy. But what happens when the going gets tough? When the progress slows or obstacles arise, motivation tends to disappear. Discipline, on the other hand, is internal. It doesn't rely on external factors. Discipline is rooted in your commitment to your goals, your values, and your sense of responsibility to yourself. It's what pushes you to keep moving forward, even when things aren't going as planned. Many people fall into the trap of waiting for motivation to strike before they take action. They say things like, "I'll start my project when I feel more inspired," or "I'll get back to exercising once I feel motivated again." But this approach is flawed because motivation is often fleeting and unreliable. If you wait for motivation, you could end up waiting forever. Discipline, however, doesn't wait. Discipline doesn't rely on inspiration or the perfect conditions. It simply shows up day after day, no matter what. And over time, discipline becomes a powerful force. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes, and eventually it becomes a habit. One of the greatest advantages of discipline is that it leads to consistency, and consistency is the foundation of success. It's not the big bursts of effort that lead to long-term achievement. It's the small, consistent actions taken over time. Whether you're working on a creative project, developing a new skill, or trying to improve your health, it's the daily effort, the repetition of good habits that leads to mastery and progress. When you rely on motivation alone, your effort is sporadic. Some days you're on fire, and other days you can't bring yourself to get started. But with discipline, your effort is steady, and this steady effort builds momentum. Momentum is a powerful thing. When you consistently show up and put in the work, even when you don't feel like it, you create a snowball effect. Each small action builds on the previous one, and before you know it, you've made significant progress. This momentum also has the effect of generating its own motivation. There's a certain satisfaction that comes from doing the work, from sticking to your commitments, and from seeing the cumulative effect of your efforts. Over time, this builds confidence, which in turn fuels more motivation. But the key is that it all starts with discipline. Discipline also teaches resilience. When you rely on motivation, you're more likely to give up when things get hard. Motivation is often tied to how easy or enjoyable something feels, so when you hit a roadblock, it's tempting to quit. Discipline, however, trains you to push through challenges. It teaches you that obstacles are a part of the process and that the real growth happens when you keep going in the face of adversity. This resilience, this ability to persevere even when things are difficult, is one of the most important qualities you can develop. It's what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up when the going gets tough. Another benefit of discipline is that it creates a sense of personal integrity. When you make a commitment to yourself and you follow through on it, you build trust in yourself. You prove to yourself that you can count on your own word, that you are capable of doing what you set out to do, even when it's hard. This self-trust is invaluable because it boosts your confidence and strengthens your sense of identity. You become someone who follows through, someone who can be relied upon, and that creates a positive feedback loop. The more disciplined you are, the more confident you become, and the more likely you are to take on new challenges and push yourself further. In contrast, relying solely on motivation can lead to frustration and disappointment. When you're motivated, everything feels easy, but when motivation fades and you struggle to take action, it's easy to feel like you're failing. This can lead to negative self-talk and a sense of defeat. But discipline removes this emotional roller coaster. It's not about how you feel, it's about what you do. By focusing on disciplined action, you avoid the highs and lows of motivation and create a more stable, sustainable path to success. Ultimately, discipline is the key to long-term success because it is reliable, consistent, and resilient. It allows you to keep going when motivation fades, to push through challenges, and to build momentum that leads to progress. While motivation may be the initial spark, it's discipline that lights the path and keeps the flame burning bright, guiding you to your goals. In a world that constantly encourages self-promotion and public acknowledgement, it can be tempting to announce every milestone, share every success, and seek validation for every effort. Social media platforms thrive on this culture of constant sharing where people feel compelled to broadcast their achievements in real time, hoping for applause, likes, and attention. However, true success does not require noise or fanfare. In fact, the most powerful form of success is one that speaks for itself, letting your results make the noise rather than relying on self-promotion to get noticed. When you allow your success to make the noise, you shift the focus from seeking validation to focusing on the work itself. The foundation of lasting success is built on hard work, perseverance, and consistent effort, often in silence, away from the spotlight. It's not about talking loudly about what you're going to do, it's about actually doing it. It's about putting your head down, staying committed to your goals, and letting the results speak when the time is right. The problem with seeking attention and applause before success is that it can lead to a false sense of accomplishment. When you share your intentions and receive praise for them, it can create the illusion that you've already achieved something significant, even when the work has barely begun. This can rob you of the hunger and drive needed to push through the inevitable challenges that arise along the way. In contrast, when you stay quiet about your efforts and focus purely on the actions that will get you to your goal, you maintain a sense of urgency and commitment. You stay grounded in the process rather than getting swept up in the premature celebration of success that hasn't yet materialized. Another important aspect of letting your success make the noise is that it allows you to stay humble. Success is often accompanied by recognition, but those who constantly seek the spotlight can lose touch with the importance of humility. True success isn't about proving anything to others. It's about achieving something meaningful for yourself. When you work quietly without the need for constant validation, you learn to value the work for its own sake, not for the recognition it brings. This humility keeps you focused on growth, improvement, and progress, rather than on external approval. Moreover, when your success speaks for itself, it carries far more weight and credibility than any self-promotion ever could. When people see the results of your hard work, whether it's a thriving business, a personal transformation, or a skill you've mastered, they are more likely to be impressed by the substance of your achievements rather than the noise you made along the way. This kind of success commands respect because it's real and tangible. You didn't need to shout about it, your results did the talking for you. Working in silence also helps you avoid unnecessary pressure. When you broadcast your goals and plans, you open yourself up to scrutiny and expectations from others. Suddenly people are watching your every move, and there's a pressure to deliver on what you've promised. This can add stress to an already challenging process and in some cases cause you to alter your approach to meet the expectations of others. By keeping your efforts quiet, you free yourself from this external pressure. You give yourself the space to experiment, make mistakes, and pivot if necessary without worrying about how it will look to others. In addition to reducing pressure, working quietly also allows you to focus more deeply on the task at hand. When you're not concerned with impressing others or seeking validation, you can give your full attention to the work that truly matters. This focus leads to higher quality work because you're not distracted by the noise of external expectations. You're working for yourself, not for an audience, which allows you to tap into a deeper sense of purpose and commitment. It's in these moments of focused effort that true breakthroughs and progress occur. One of the most rewarding aspects of letting your success make the noise is that it often comes as a pleasant surprise to others. When people aren't aware of what you've been working on, the impact of your achievements is magnified when they finally see the results. They're not expecting it, and that element of surprise adds to the respect and admiration they feel for your accomplishments. It's the difference between someone who talks endlessly about what they're going to do and someone who quietly gets it done, allowing the outcome to speak volumes. The latter approach is far more powerful because it's rooted in substance rather than hype. Furthermore, allowing your success to make the noise cultivates a sense of authenticity. When you don't feel the need to constantly talk about what you're doing or seeking validation for every small achievement, you're free to be your true self. You're not performing for others, you're simply doing the work. This authenticity not only makes your success more genuine, but it also makes you more relatable to others. People respect and admire those who are quietly working hard and achieving their goals without constantly seeking the spotlight. It's a refreshing change in a world filled with self-promotion. Another key benefit of this approach is that it builds your credibility over time. When you consistently let your results speak for themselves, people begin to recognize you as someone who delivers. You become known not for your words, but for your actions and outcomes. This reputation for reliability and competence is far more valuable than any temporary recognition you might receive from self-promotion. It's the kind of respect that is earned through consistent effort and achievement, and it sticks with you for the long term. Letting your success make the noise also encourages long-term thinking. When you're focused on the end result rather than the recognition along the way, you're more likely to stay committed to your goals over time. You're not distracted by the need for immediate gratification, and you're willing to put in the necessary work, even when the results aren't visible yet. This long-term mindset is essential for achieving meaningful success because it allows you to weather the ups and downs of the journey without losing sight of your ultimate goal. In the end, letting your success make the noise is about shifting your focus from external validation to internal fulfillment. It's about working for the sake of achieving something meaningful, not for the recognition it brings. It's about staying humble, focused, and disciplined, trusting that your results will speak louder than any words ever could. This approach not only leads to more authentic and lasting success, but it also allows you to enjoy the process without the pressure of constantly seeking approval. When you let your success make the noise, you create a legacy that speaks for itself, one that is rooted in real achievement rather than in empty promises. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces when it comes to achieving success in any area of life. It's not the grand gestures or the big efforts made sporadically that create lasting results. Instead, it's the small, disciplined actions repeated over time that lead to true progress and success. Consistency is the bedrock upon which mastery is built, and its power lies in its simplicity. While motivation can come and go, and while challenges and setbacks are inevitable, consistency ensures that you're always moving forward, even if it's at a slow pace. It transforms average efforts into extraordinary results, turning your daily habits into the foundation for long-term success. The power of consistency can be best understood by comparing it to compound interest. Just as money grows exponentially when compounded over time, so do the effects of consistent action. Each small step you take builds on the one before it, creating momentum that propels you forward. Whether you're working towards physical fitness, developing a skill, building a career, or improving relationships, it's the accumulation of small, seemingly insignificant actions that creates massive change over time. While the results may not be immediately visible, with enough patience and persistence, consistency pays off in ways that are often beyond what you initially imagined. One of the greatest challenges in achieving consistency is that the rewards are often delayed. In a world driven by instant gratification, where people expect quick results, the slow and steady path of consistency can feel discouraging. When you're putting in the work day after day and not seeing immediate progress, it's easy to question whether your efforts are making a difference. This is where most people give up, convinced that their small actions aren't adding up. But the key to unlocking the power of consistency is trusting the process, understanding that every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Another significant aspect of consistency is that it builds habits, and habits are the foundation of success. When you commit to a daily routine, whether it's working out, practicing a skill, or dedicating time to a project, those actions become automatic. Over time, what once felt difficult or required great effort becomes second nature. This is the beauty of consistency. It transforms effort into habit and habit into mastery. The more consistent you are, the less energy it takes to stay on track, and the more progress you make without even realizing it. This is how consistency turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. Consistency also cultivates discipline. To be consistent means to show up and do the work, even when you don't feel like it. There will be days when motivation is low, when distractions are tempting, and when the progress seems too slow to matter. But consistency teaches you the importance of discipline, of showing up even when it's hard, and of keeping your eye on the long-term goal. Discipline and consistency go hand in hand. Discipline is what keeps you consistent when motivation fades, and consistency is what strengthens your discipline over time. Together, they create an unshakable force that drives you toward your goals, no matter what obstacles arise. Another key benefit of consistency is that it builds confidence. When you consistently show up for yourself and follow through on your commitments, you prove to yourself that you can be relied upon. This sense of self-trust is incredibly empowering because it reinforces your belief in your own abilities. The more consistent you are in taking action toward your goals, the more confidence you build, not only in your ability to achieve those specific goals, but in your overall capability to succeed in life. Confidence is built on evidence, and consistency provides the evidence that you are capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. Moreover, consistency helps you develop resilience. Success is rarely a straight path. It's filled with setbacks, challenges, and unexpected detours. However, consistency gives you the strength to keep going in the face of these obstacles. When you're consistent, you understand that setbacks are just part of the process, and that progress isn't always linear. Rather than getting discouraged or giving up when things get tough, you're able to maintain your focus and keep moving forward. Consistency allows you to weather the storms, knowing that each step forward, no matter how small, is progress. In addition to building resilience, consistency also enhances your ability to learn and improve. Every time you take action, whether it's practicing a skill, working on a project, or developing a new habit you're learning, you're gathering feedback on what works and what doesn't, refining your approach, and getting better with each attempt. This process of incremental improvement is known as the principle of Kaizen, a Japanese term that means continuous improvement. By being consistent, you engage in this process of constant learning and growth. Over time, this leads to significant progress, not because of any single monumental effort, but because of the accumulation of small, steady improvements. Furthermore, consistency sets you apart from the majority. Most people start strong but struggle to maintain momentum. They get excited about a new goal or project, but when the initial enthusiasm fades, they lose interest. By being consistent, you demonstrate a level of commitment and persistence that most people lack. It's this persistence that ultimately leads to success. When you consistently show up and put in the work, you're not just making progress, you're also outlasting those who give up too soon. This gives you a distinct advantage, as success is often less about being the best and more about being the one who keeps going. Consistency also helps you manage your time more effectively. When you're consistent, you develop a routine that allows you to make steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. You don't need to wait for motivation to strike or for large chunks of time to dedicate to your goals. Instead, you make small, manageable steps every day, which adds up over time. This approach is far more sustainable than relying on bursts of effort or trying to cram everything into a short period. It allows you to stay balanced, maintain your energy, and avoid burnout, all while steadily moving toward your goals. In the end, the power of consistency lies in its ability to transform small efforts into extraordinary outcomes. It's the quiet, persistent force that drives success, building momentum, discipline, confidence, and resilience along the way. Consistency teaches you the value of patience, the importance of showing up every day, and the incredible results that can be achieved when you commit to the process. Whether in personal development, career advancement, or any other area of life, consistency is the key to unlocking your full potential. By embracing the power of consistency, you set yourself up for long-term success, knowing that each small step forward is a step closer to your ultimate goal. Humility and quiet confidence are two qualities that are often misunderstood, but when combined, they create a powerful foundation for success and fulfillment in both personal and professional life. Humility is often perceived as weakness or passivity, but in reality, it is a deep understanding of one's strengths and limitations, coupled with the willingness to learn, grow, and serve others. Quiet confidence, on the other hand, is the belief in your abilities without the need for constant validation or loud self-promotion. Together, humility and quiet confidence represent a balance of self-assurance and modesty, creating a strong, stable, and grounded character. In a world where people are often encouraged to promote themselves, boast about their achievements, and demand recognition, humility can be seen as an uncommon trait. Yet true humility is not about thinking less of yourself or downplaying your abilities. It's about having an accurate view of who you are, understanding your strengths without becoming arrogant, and acknowledging your weaknesses without feeling inferior. Humility allows you to recognize that, while you are capable, there is always more to learn and ways to improve. It keeps you open to feedback, receptive to new ideas, and willing to admit when you don't know something. This openness is key to personal and professional growth because it leads to continuous learning and development. Quiet confidence, on the other hand, doesn't seek to be the loudest voice in the room or the center of attention. It doesn't require constant praise or external validation to feel secure. People with quiet confidence know their worth and abilities, but they don't need to broadcast it. They let their actions, not their words, speak for themselves. This type of confidence is not built on fragile ego or the need to prove something to others. It's built on a deep, internal belief in oneself. Quiet confidence allows a person to move through life with grace and composure, handling challenges and successes alike with poise. What makes the combination of humility and quiet confidence so powerful is that together they strike a balance between self-assurance and modesty. Humility keeps confidence grounded, preventing it from turning into arrogance. Confidence, in turn, keeps humility from turning into self-doubt or insecurity. When you have both qualities, you know your strengths, but you don't feel the need to boast about them. You're aware of your limitations, but you're not afraid to take on challenges because you trust your ability to figure things out. This balance creates a person who is both strong and approachable, capable and compassionate. One of the key benefits of cultivating humility and quiet confidence is that it leads to genuine relationships with others. When you're humble, you're able to connect with people on a deeper level because you're not trying to impress them or put yourself above them. You listen more than you speak, and you're genuinely interested in learning from others. This creates trust and mutual respect in relationships, whether they're personal or professional. People are naturally drawn to those who are both confident and humble because they feel safe, valued, and respected in their presence. They know that someone with quiet confidence doesn't need to compete with them or diminish their worth. In leadership, humility and quiet confidence are particularly valuable. Leaders who embody these qualities inspire loyalty and respect, not because they demand it, but because they earn it through their actions. Humble leaders don't micromanage or insist on being the smartest person in the room. Instead, they empower others, give credit where it's due, and are open to feedback and new ideas. They recognize that leadership is about serving others and supporting the success of the team, not just elevating themselves. Quiet confidence, meanwhile, enables a leader to make decisions calmly, handle pressure with composure, and inspire confidence in their team without needing to shout their authority. Another aspect of humility is the ability to admit mistakes and learn from them. Arrogant individuals tend to see mistakes as threats to their ego, something to be covered up or blamed on others. Humble individuals, however, see mistakes as opportunities for growth. They acknowledge their errors, take responsibility for them, and use them as learning experiences. This willingness to be vulnerable and open about shortcomings is a sign of strength, not weakness. It demonstrates a deep level of self-awareness and maturity, which allows for personal and professional development. When combined with quiet confidence, it means that even when mistakes are made, there's an underlying trust in one's ability to bounce back and grow stronger from the experience. Quiet confidence also fosters resilience. Life is full of challenges and setbacks, and those who rely on external validation or loud self-assurance often crumble when things don't go their way. In contrast, someone with quiet confidence remains steady in the face of adversity because their belief in themselves is not easily shaken by external circumstances. They don't need the approval of others to feel worthy, nor do they need to boast about their achievements to feel successful. This inner strength allows them to persevere through difficulties, maintaining their sense of purpose and direction even when the path is tough. Moreover, the combination of humility and quiet confidence promotes a focus on long-term goals rather than short-term gains. People who are constantly seeking attention and validation often chase quick wins that provide immediate recognition. Humble individuals, however, understand the value of patience and persistence. They are willing to put in the quiet, consistent work needed to achieve lasting success. They're not in it for the applause, they're in it for the fulfillment that comes from knowing they've done their best and contributed something meaningful. Quiet confidence reinforces this long-term perspective because it provides the self-assurance needed to stay the course, even when progress is slow or invisible. Finally, humility and quiet confidence bring a sense of peace and contentment. When you're not constantly chasing recognition or trying to prove something to others, you're free to focus on what truly matters to you. You can pursue your goals and passions without the pressure to impress, and you can enjoy the process of growth and learning without the need for constant validation. This creates a sense of inner peace, knowing that your worth isn't tied to external achievements or other people's opinions. You're able to appreciate your successes without needing to boast about them, and you're able to learn from your failures without being defined by them. In conclusion, the combination of humility and quiet confidence creates a powerful force for personal growth, meaningful relationships, and lasting success. These qualities allow you to move through life with grace, strength, and purpose without the need for external validation or attention. When you cultivate humility, you remain open to learning, growing, and serving others. When you develop quiet confidence, you trust in your abilities and remain resilient in the face of challenges. Together, they create a foundation for a fulfilling and successful life built on integrity, self-assurance, and a deep sense of purpose.